Chapter 23. Here, at the end of his life. The cold wind of the rotor tears at Raylan's hair as he is led out of the copter. Cyphron walks past him with a confident smile and beckons.
Follow me.
Raylan looks around and finds his friends surrounded by an ATC agent at gunpoint. 2 ATC agents grab his shoulders and forcefully move him forward. Cyphron briskly walks toward the large gate that is set into the mountain, the only entrance to the power plant. Yellow construction lights mark the road that leads into the mountain. Cyphron stops at a service door and touches a small screen with her arm clip. A red light appears on the screen.
Aw, come on, AI.
She says.
Chop chop. It's me, your boss.
Irritated, she waves her hand at the video camera. The screen turns green and the door opens with a click.
Yeah, and you better be right next time or I'll dismantle you personally.
Cyphron snarls at the camera as she passes. The AI's negligence of her new authority angers her more than the wasted time. Inside the large tunnel, the air is hot and surprisingly humid. Raylan instinctively swallows as he gazes down the road that leads into the mountain. Pushed forward by his guards, he stumbles along. Cyphron looks at Raylan with half-closed eyes, trying to lure Raylan's psyche out in the open where she can pounce on it.
It's a pity you've never been here.
She tells him casually.
Of course, when you started at Winslow Security and I had to babysit you, I repeatedly told you to inform yourself about the security measures during construction.
She gives him an indignant look.
But no, the heir to a global enterprise had more important things to do. It's like fucking a school dropout and a dimwit college ama.
Raylan knows Cyphron too well to answer, and so he trudges on silently. With the last chance of success fading into nothingness, Raylan's self has withdrawn from immediate response. Instead, the yellow safety lights along the road comfort him in their repetitive precision. Cyphron again probes Raylan's vulnerable spots as she bares her teeth for a sardonic smile.
The funny thing is, even if you somehow made it here to stop the bomb,
she waves down the road that curves around a corner.
I just would have blown the charge from here.
She laughs heartily and points to her arm clip. Giggling erratically, she starts to cough. Her gleaming eyes twitch with a hint of insanity as she grabs Raylan's shoulder, pulling him in close.
Bet you never saw that coming, did ya?
Searching his face for signs of breakdown, Cyphron pushes Raylan ahead. The tunnel curves and widens into a huge cave. In the distance, a massive metallic dome hovers over a deep chasm, extending huge metal fingers into the darkness below. Shackled by a system of ducts and metallic tubes, the dome looks like a gigantic mountain beast, chained to bid its master's will. Converting heat to energy. The hiss of pressurized water sounds through the air as pressure valves release vapor into the cave. Yellow lights illuminate clouds of vapor overhead. Raylan smells the stench of sulfur and burning stone. Magma. He gazes at the dome and its metal prods that reach down into the chasm. At the other end of the cave, 4 massive turbines are fed pressurized steam by an array of huge steam lines. Their screaming noise is heard throughout the cave. This is the pumping heart of the global ocean diversion system. Cyphron pushes Raylan against the guardrail of an observation platform. The temperature increases dramatically as Cyphron forces Raylan's head over the rail.
Phew, it's hot down here. I hope you can stand the heat,
Cyphron says, mocking Raylan with her concerned voice. The agents hold Raylan still as he gazes below. A sluggish stream of magma flows along a rift of glowing rocks, brittle shards of rock shearing off the bedrock like breaking glass. Cyphron squints her eyes as she looks down into the abyss. After a moment, she steps back, lost in thought.
Too bad I can't just throw you down there,
she says.
I wonder how long you would feel the melting of your bones.
Gathering herself, she motions the agents to move Raylan further along the road. The noise of condenser arrays and generators gets louder as they pass the metal dome to their left. Yellow-black guardrails mark the entrance to the turbine section.
You'll stand guard here.
She motions to one of the agents.
I don't expect any interference, but better safe than sorry.
Grabbing Raylan's shoulder, she pushes him past the barrier. She snarls at Raylan.
We don't want to spoil the party, do we?
Further down the road, 4 gigantic turbines scream into the cave air. As they approach, the turbine's noise quenches any other sound. Behind the turbines, A maintenance area opens to the right, and Raylan is led into a maze of workbenches, shelves, steel pipes, barrels, and half-finished generator blocks. The noise subsides as they make their way toward a door labeled Danger, Rock Falls.
You'll guard this door.
Cyphrin orders the agent shortly as she unlocks the door. Drawing her gun, she adds,
I'll take it from here.
on the other side of the door, yellow floodlights shine diffuse light on a downward tunnel. Power lines and cables lead the way deeper into the mountain, and hot, dry wind passes Raylan's face.
So, here's the script for your final act.
Cyphrin jovially chats while she pushes the handcuffed Raylan down the tunnel.
You, ruthless terrorist, want to blow up the gods because yada yada yada. We have some Ecos numbskull from up north to read the manifesto on live TV.
Raylan walks a bit slower and half turns back to her, showing his surprise. Cyphrin pauses with raised eyebrows, vileness dripping from her every word.
Oh.
She calls out.
Oh, you didn't know?
She motions him forward with her gun and theatrically opens her arms wide.
Yes, my boy.
She says,
Your last act will be a global affair. All the world will see you standing beside the ticking bomb, willing to sacrifice your life for whatever it is. And then,
Cyphrin pauses dramatically, shoving her gun into Raylan's back to move him along.
enter your father, begging you to stop this madness on live television. Ugh, the drama.
Cyphrin is in her element, reliving the plan she and Raylan's father have laid out. While they continue down the tunnel, she mimics the tone of a news reporter.
Oh no, the stark raving mad son is not listening and time is running out.
Cyphrin gazes at Raylan with sardonic pleasure.
Then the real leadership of Crow Raylan Winslow Sr. will shine through.
She whispers.
He orders the death of his son to save the world. The tragedy.
Wiping away a virtual tear, she muses nonchalantly.
I wanted to tap you twice in the head and present myself as the hero. But Ray, your father, was right. For the public, the image of a dead, unbloodied son emanates peace, closure. Can't just shoot the air of an empire like a mangy dog, you know.
Cyphrin motions Raylan through an opening into a large natural cave. Jagged rocks fill the walls and sand trickles from the dark ceiling. The light dims as the floodlights are set further apart.
So we decided to use lethal gas.
Cyphrin explains. A diabolical shiver of lust surges through her body as she observes Raylan's alarmed gaze at her.
Just kidding.
She grins cheerfully, pointing her gun at Raylan.
The gas is just show. I'll do you myself later. Don't worry, you'll only bleed below the chest. You know, we don't want to mess up the money shot.
Raylan is stunned by the elaborate planning and feels suffocated by the totality of his father's scheme. He could have just blown up the gods to reach his goal. Using his death to be celebrated as a just leader feels more and more like a Cyphrin idea to him. Cyphrin motions Raylan to the right, following the power lines toward a smaller cave. She chats on.
Anyway, for the epilogue to the show. The smoke of the lethal gas lifts, and the world beholds the dead son of Raylan Winslow Sr. He gave his son to save the world.
Cyphrin pauses and mutters.
So touching.
She leads Raylan to a cave wall and pushes him to the ground. While tying his legs with a carbon chain, she puts on an expression of solemn condolence.
And all the sacrifices for naught because the bomb goes off accidentally. Really tragic.
She plays the pastoral sympathy quite well.
I guess someone messed up the disarming. Oops.
She beams at Raylan while pointing at her arm clip. Just then, she feels her ultimate power over Raylan.
Oh, and your friends?
She continues.
They'll be dying right after you. We'll drape their corpses over some filmable scenery up there and let the media have it.
Spreading her arms apologetically, she rolls her eyes.
You know what the news wants?
She says.
Bullet-riddled corpses, blood, gore. We have you on live TV, but we need their corpses as proof.
She giggles over a sudden inspiration.
After all, you'll be evaporated by the explosion, flowing with the magma toward the AI center. Oh, how poetic.
Raylan looks right through Cyphrin's attempts to frighten him. But at this point, he is past the stage of fright. He looks around in the cave. Dust flitters in the hot, dry air as Cyphrin moves about. A banner with the Ecos logo covers the wall next to Raylan. In front of it, A large carbon fiber box sits on the rock floor. Cameras, batteries, and other electronic equipment are strewn about.
We even have sound effects for the heroic effort of the ATC to stop you. And real gas.
Cyphron enthusiastically points to her gear.
How will you keep me on camera?
Raylan asks with polite interest, surveying the scene.
Ah, good point. We, your father and me, were talking about that.
Cyphron says as she drags a large tripod toward the box.
Ray, your father, told me about the venom of the Verloren yellow thorn salamander.
She tells Raylan.
Quite a sneaky little fellow, hunts at night and attacks prey twice his size. You see, its venom slowly paralyzes the body, but not the brain, so the prey is fully aware that it is being eaten. Over days.
Cyphron tries everything to bait Raylan into a response.
Oh, and look,
She calls out.
I brought some venom with me.
She reaches into her coat and produces a syringe set with a small vial attached. Brown liquid swirls in the vial.
Do what you have to do.
He replies resignedly and closes his eyes. Here at the end of his life, his public appearance is the last thing on his mind. He regrets that he will not see his friends again. He misses the embrace with Taryn and Siren, Arya's smile, and Evren's funny one-liner. He regrets never talking to the strange puppet Pico and her mentor Japedia. He regrets many things, but strangely, he also regrets his hatred for his father. Here, at the end of his life, he realizes the futility of his hate. Fighting his father is like fighting himself. He can never win. This is getting tight. I don't like it.
It's game over, baby. Game over.